Hello again, Internet. It is I, Olin, from What I'm Listening To. It has been quite some time since I have sat down and filmed a video, and that's on me, because it's the holidays, and I have been busy with doing that, Christmas shopping and what have you. Plus, work is absolutely nightmarish. I've been working far too much. I've been working longer shifts. I've been staying there for longer periods of time, and stress. It's all a nightmare. It's too much. But now that Christmas shopping is complete for me and I have 2 days off, I decided to go treat myself, and I went over to Amoeba and got some goodies. So here I am today to share with you my glorious picks, and I'm excited about this because I got some good ones this time. First one from the bag, an album by a band called Dirty 3. This is an Australian band, and a friend of mine shared with me one of their songs off this album called Everything's Fucked. And what I found very fascinating was the prominent use of the electric violin. And I did some more research on the band, and as it turns out, the guy who plays the violin in this band also plays with Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds. What also interested me more is the albums on the Touch and Go label, which has put out a ton of amazing punk records. So everything just sounded so appealing about this band. This is their first album, and initially I was going to get an official release, and that would have been about $10, but when I was digging through the dollar section, I managed to find this promo release, which doesn't have the art cover or any of that stuff, but it's still the same album, same disc and all, so I figured I'll save $9 and just get this version, because why not? It's the same CD. I'm excited to hear the rest. I love what I heard from that first song, so it should be a good listen. So the next one was actually another recommendation by another friend. This is Broadcast's Tender Buttons. My friend Allie actually sent me a Snapchat of her listening to this very album on vinyl, and what I heard on the Snapchat was something I really dug. It sounded a lot more psychedelic than what the record actually is. This is a more indie pop, indie electronic album, but it's still really awesome. So after I listened to this a little bit, I decided to get a copy of it because I loved what I heard. And this is a great one. I don't really know too much to say. I don't know too much about this band other than the fact that this album is really cool, and I'm really excited to own this. Next up, Spiritualized. I actually already own an album by this band. They do an album called Ladies and Gentlemen, We're Floating in Space, and that one's a later release. I want to say that's their third album. This one is their first album. This is called Lazer Guided Melodies. This band composes of the lead guy from the band Spaceman 3, which was a classic shoegaze psychedelic band from, I believe, the 80s. And after they broke up, the lead guy formed this group here. And the band is pretty similar to Spaceman 3, psychedelic, spacey, kind of melodic stuff. The reason why I got this album was because, well, I loved Ladies and Gentlemen, We're Floating in Space, but also I stumbled upon a Best Shoegaze Albums of All Time list, and this album showed up, and so I decided to actually check it out because it's not every day you come across Best Shoegaze Albums of All Time lists, mostly because the genre I think is a little underappreciated, but seeing as this one made the list, I had to check it out, so here we have it. Okay, so this next one I'm super excited about. This is a band called the Japandroids, and this is their album Post Nothing. The reason why I'm excited about this one is because this is an album that I have been looking for such a long time, and I could never find a physical copy of this. Every record store I went to, I would look for this album, and all I could find was their second album, Celebration Rock, which is a great album, and it's a very similar looking cover, but not this one. This is their first album, and this is actually such a good record. This band is awesome. They kind of straddle the line between garage rock, alternative rock, some shoegaze elements to it, but still very melodic and noisy, and I love that kind of stuff. And so after I listened to this record numerous times, I've been seeking to get it, and I actually almost bought it off of Amazon just because I was so fed up with not finding it anywhere. But on this very trip, they had a copy, and it was an absolute no-brainer that I'm gonna get this. So finally own it, so excited. Japandroids, Post Nothing, amazing record. This next one I actually kind of found on accident. This is a band called the Dead Texan, and this is actually a one-off band. So another band I really like called Stars of the Lid, which is like this drone ambient neoclassical band. They actually did a side project, I should say. One of the guys from the band did a side project with another person, and they formed this group. And I found this in the Stars of the Lid section of the CDs, and I wasn't actually expecting to find a physical copy of this. And I've heard a little bit before, and it's very similar to Stars, but I didn't actually, I didn't think it was nearly as good. I still liked it though. However, the fact that they had a physical copy of this, I couldn't really pass up the opportunity. So I decided to pick it up. I love ambient and experimental stuff, and I'll probably give this one a more closer listen, just because, over time I tend to like stuff. So I'm sure this will be a great album, and also it's off the Cranky label, so anything that's on the Cranky label I will buy because they just put out amazing stuff. Speaking of the Cranky label, I have an album by a dude named Tim Hecker. This is a name that I've always seen pop up as far as Cranky's stuff is concerned, and everybody who's talked about him has said great things about him. I've never really checked him out until now. I was browsing the experimental section of the store and stumbled across this album, and I picked it up mostly because the cover is really cool. There's something spooky about it. I don't really know what to anticipate here. I'm assuming it's going to be good just because it is on the Cranky label. So I'm assuming it's going to be ambient, maybe electronic. I have no idea. All I know is I'm really excited to listen to this one. The final thing I got here is the more expensive one of the stuff I got. This is a band called Beltre Space. I stumbled across this band when I was browsing through this book, Gimme Indie, which is a book that profiles 500 indie records that are considered the best. And normally I go through that book when I'm sort of in a rut and I'm looking for something new. What attracted me most was the name of the band. It has the word space in it. And then also what attracted me was the name of the album, Robot World. So that immediately was setting the stone that this was going to be kind of a spacey album. And when I looked them up on iTunes and listened to some previews of it, I was right. But it was a lot more shoegazy than I expected. And of course, as I said earlier, I love shoegaze music, so I decided to pick this one up. Considering the fact that this was the only album the store actually had by these guys, I honestly couldn't really pass it up. I really wanted to listen to something by these guys, even though it was $13. I guess this is just a rare pressing, but it's also off the Matador label, and Matador has also put out some great stuff, so I'm excited to hear this band. Alright, that does it, internet. I'm gonna go put all of this on my computer and then put it on my iTunes so I can listen to it on my new Beats headphones because these are great. So, until next time, thank you for watching. This is OLIN'S signing out. Goodbye.